Hey there, Jed Coburnus here from jedcoburnus.com, and this is Talk Therapy, a tool that I use to just get rid of the ego, or not get rid of it, actually accept the ego. The mind, the part of the mind that tells you you can't or it's not good because it holds on to your current identity, because any changes that you make will change the ego, which the ego hates to change. So, yeah, here we are. Just hitting record, not ever knowing what the hell I'm going to say, and that's okay. Because as soon as you start thinking about what you're going to say, then that is ego, that is putting all sorts of layers and past experiences or any kind of influence you've ever had in any lifetime you've ever experienced into what you're about to do, say, or think, or whatever it is. So, this is what I do. This is how I play. This is like every moment of my life would love to lift this veil the way it comes out right now, the way truth and raw moments are about to happen. And that takes a ton of practice because we're human, right? Human intellect, human everything. Like everything we are screams survival. We need to survive, and we will. And we will evolve. It just needs to get worse before it gets better. That's no joke. And I'm sitting here telling myself that. I'm literally, this is what I do this for, because then there's nothing I do a lot of this realizing in the moment, in right now, and that's the fun part. That is the fun part, not knowing what's going to happen. Some people think that's scary and they don't like it, and that's okay. That is way okay. I find that my belief in myself and my faith in myself is deep, way deep, right? And that's where I go. And I love that. It feels very, very, very familiar to me and unfamiliar at the same time, because I never know what's going to happen. That's so awesome to even think about, to like reflect on just for a second, just to be like, okay, before it was pretty shallow because I only thought of what's going to happen if, and what can possibly go wrong today, and what can possibly go right today. And it's like, well, whatever, what's today? Today's today, that's it. There's no other moments. And since going down that road of like, okay, well, what else is there? Is there more to this thing called life? When you start going deep, I would say the first thing that I've noticed was the amount of sadness that I felt, because it's just been a major disappointment, because I have I have so much expectation for myself to keep up with that has been pushed onto me by every other person. So when you stop that, when that voice in your head starts to work with you versus against you, not always, not perfect, but that's being human. That's the fun part, is starting to realize that, okay, I don't need to make anybody happy. I don't need to sit here and be a certain way for somebody. As long as I can look in the mirror and say, and not even just, and think and say and be, all of that, and just kind of go, yeah, you know what? I'm good. I'm good with what I am. I'm good with who I am. I'm good with my life at this moment and carrying that into the next moment and the next moment. And that's the falling from grace thing. Like that's why I do this right now, literally. Because if I was driving to work or going anywhere or doing whatever and not consciously being aware of the action, then I suppose I would be falling from grace and just letting life drift by, like not learning, not experiencing anything. And a person can experience things in their same, if you will, their same routine if you're conscious to it. So many of us go, oh man, I've let 20, 30 years go by in my life and I have not experienced anything. Dare I say you're wrong. You just haven't been awake for it. You haven't been conscious of what your actions, like living intentionally, living consciously. And yes, you're going to fall from grace. It's going to happen at some point of your day, but oh well, accept that, love it, and move on. But really, that when you can recognize and notice when you're falling from grace, if you will, then you can kind of analyze, break it down. What happened before and after it happened? What was it that you were feeling? What was it that brought on the fall, if you will? And if you can really start to notice that, then you can bring yourself right back to it with just a simple, deep breath, right? In through your nose, out your mouth, and just recognize the breath. Because you're not controlling your breathing. Something else is. Something beyond you has got your back. Always. That is the only expectation that I have left. Is something bigger than me, something outside, something inside and outside of me, all the way around me, has got my back. Always. No matter what. No energy, no force, no whatever. I will always be taken care of. What does that look like? I don't know, and I love it. I love it. Like, the endurance that it takes to be human is incredible. The mission that my soul signed up for before I was born is what I guess I'm seeking. And I say I guess because that's my ego going, oh, ha ha ha, you don't know. And I'm good with that. I accept it. I love it. I don't know what the mission is. And I think so many people, don't even realize that before you were born, there was a mission for you. And yes, resistance has to happen because the pain to change has to be bad enough in order to prompt the change. But when it comes to the mission that you were designed for, when you're in that, it comes easy. And not necessarily easy as in like, oh yeah, I'm like the best ever. But you don't mind it. And what I mean by mind, right? You don't mind it. is you're consciously loving the moment. Continuously, consciously loving the moment. Yeah. And you're not worried about time, right? How many times do you check the time in your day? If you're doing that, your shit is broken. find something that makes you not check the time and do more of that. Literally do that. I mean, I feel like currently I am. Like, there's break times in my day at work and I don't even notice that it's break time because I'm conscious and I am moving in a way that requires me to be conscious, not just unconscious, mindless, conscious. And I think that's the draw. That's what draws me to this current work. And I say current because who knows what the hell can happen. I love it. And that's my ego. My ego's like, yeah, but you could self-sabotage this. You've done it before. Sure have. But who knows? Anything, I am open to all. I'm not closing any doors and closing any windows and closing any opportunities. It's literally just this moment is the fun part. Looking forward to stuff is great too. I'm okay with that. I am. Literally, I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that? Anybody listening? But when you are in a place in your mind, body, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, all three of those, where this moment is enough, and practicing that and being in grace, being in a graceful, joyful, grateful place, that is incredible. Like right now, I'm like, I can feel that. I can feel it. It's there because it just hit record. And I'm not worried about what I say, what offending anybody, whatever. I share it out to the world because my intention would be to inspire somebody else to do this. You don't have to share it to the world. But my intention would be to inspire somebody else to hit record and just start talking as raw as you need to be. If you fucking hate somebody so much that you need to just rattle off everything you hate about them, and then if that feels good to you at that moment, then do that. And then if anything, listen to it. Go back and listen to it and apply all of that to them talking about you like that. Not that it matters, but like listen. Really listen to what you just said. Is it in your heart that big of deal that you have that much hate? Is that something you can forgive? I don't know. I mean, you don't have to forget, but can you forgive? That's a great question. I have no idea. And I love it. So get after it. Love yourself. What is one thing you can do today that's different, that you can change, that you haven't already done to change your day? And stay with grace just for a moment longer. You got this. Hit that like, comment, share, subscribe button. Share this with a friend. You never know who needs to hear it. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, if you're willing to change from the neck up, then you will change from the neck down. I believe in you. Now it's your turn to start believing in yourself. Stay safe out there and be blessed. Bye for now.